From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to high school basketball once again here on RFM. Whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch, or in delay with our partners at Leominster TV, we say good evening to you and welcome inside the gym tonight. Tonight, the Leominster High School Blue Devils girls program faces their toughest challenge yet. They bring a 3-3 record onto home court due the Blue Devils as they play host to the perennial measuring stick in Central Mass in Coach Jim Oxford's Wachusett Mountaineers. The Mountaineers come in 6-0 in the 2022-2023 campaign. Some teams reload, others just turn the calendar year in and year out. We welcome you to our courtside broadcast position alongside Bill Thomas, Todd Robbins. Great to have you along with us. Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. We'll hook up with Kate in a couple of moments as well. It's great to have you with us for another night of high school basketball, and again, a matchup that every single year is that one that for every single team gets circled on the calendar. When they are lining up on a girls program, that is, when they see Wachusett on their schedule, that is the proverbial night where they will figure out where exactly do they fit in the grand picture of girls basketball in the state of Massachusetts. Tonight, Leominster will have their first opportunity to check themselves against the measuring stick. And Billy, 6-0 is Wachusett, 3-3 is Leominster, and Wachusett has played a phenomenally difficult schedule. They have massive wins over top 20 teams in the Boston Globe, including Foxborough, Framingham, Franklin, and Brookline, and those are the ones that Coach Oxford wanted to point out. Problem I have with the Boston Globe top 20 is if Wachusett's not listed in the Boston Globe top 20, it's not a top 20 statewide. That's always one of my pet peeves about that, but they do a phenomenal job there, as we all do, in covering high school athletics. But if you're going to talk about the best teams in girls basketball in the state, you can't have a conversation without including Wachusett in your top three. That's my fault. Hang on, Bill Thomas. Go ahead.
That's all right, Todd. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, these Eastern Mass publications can't get out of their way beyond 495, unfortunately, or even 128 sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, this is the yardstick, the measuring stick that the rest of the state, I mean, I think teams are looking to play Wachusett now. Wachusett doesn't have to look for difficult opponents anymore. I think they're being sought out, or they're being wholeheartedly accepted into other teams' rotations that are east of 495 and 128, which is great to see. Some recognition at least, but you're right. Any team that's not in the top 20 that beats four of the teams in the top 20, I got a math problem there, Todd. And speaking of math problem, I think that's what we're going to have on the scoreboard tonight. Leominster's been playing great lockdown defense. We'll have to see. Something we'll get into as it goes, as we start analyzing what we got go in front of us tonight. But yeah, and Coach Oxford in his notes, he made a great comment here. Some teams retool, reload. He keeps rolling. We keep rolling. I mean, three words couldn't make more of an impact statement than what they present to opponents as a basketball team year in and year out. They don't reload. They don't retool. They just keep rolling.
Keep rolling week in and week out. And Bill Thomas made an allusion to it. And that is, of course, the conversation that we'll run into tonight. What Leominster has done well into this season is something that tonight they are going to have to do phenomenally well at, as they are going to be challenged on the defensive end. They've played great lockdown defense to this point in the season, lowering their opponent's average in points per game. But tonight they are going to face, and we mentioned this at the conclusion of the broadcast earlier at the tail end of last week when we were kind of previewing this action, but these numbers haven't changed as Wachusett hasn't played a game since that point. So through 6 games, Wachusett's players own 3 of the top 5 spots in scoring in Mid-Wache, 4 of the top 10, 7 of the top 25 in that record. Conversely, Leominster has 1 in the top 5, and it's Juliana Pompey, and we'll start there before we get back to Wachusett, Bill Thomas. Let's talk about Juliana Pompey, who the other night Neshoba really identified as going to be the player we're going to shut down. They made her life more difficult. She still got her points, but they certainly made her life much more difficult in that situation, and Leominster cannot afford that tonight. Pompey has got to get hers and then be able to create for her teammates as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Oxford took note of that too, that, it's not multiple threats on the floor at any given time for the Blue Devils. No, it's basically been Pompey and and help. And, Frankie Bello's been chipping in when she can. Mia has on occasion chipped in. She's averaging about 5. But, you're going up against a team that has two scorers that are averaging double figures. And somebody on the floor, all 7, I don't know how deep their bench is, but 7 people show up on the list of top scorers, top 25. Any given spot on the floor, any player touching the ball, they can be a threat to score for these Mountaineers. And I think that the lockdown defense is really what's going to do it. You can't concentrate on 1 or 2 players like Coach Oxford possibly can tonight, trying to shut down Pompey. I mean, it's going to be all-out one-on-one or help defense for the Blue Devils because Wachusett can score from anywhere at any time.
And it's going to be defense from end to end for Leominster tonight because this Mountaineer team, we mentioned some of those numbers. Mary Gibbons is the one that tops the list. Through the 6 games the Mountaineers have played, she's got 39 shots made from the field, 13 free throws, 10 3-pointers. That's 101 total points. She's averaging just shy of 17 points a game at 16.8. This per the Worcester Telegram and the numbers that were submitted to them. Emmy Allen would be the one next in line, number 2 in that list. Through 6 games, 23 field goals, 12 free throws, 12 3-pointers, 70 points to this point, averaging just shy of 12 points a game. And then rounding out that top 5 is Liz Kane. Through 6 games, 25 field goals, 13 free throws, hasn't hit a 3-pointer, 63 points, however, averaging 10.5 points per game. So, Bill Thomas, if you take, 10.5, you put that with 12, that gets you 22. Throw that on top of another 16, roughly 38 points a game contested with just 3 players.
And I've already done the rest of the math. They're averaging 60 as a team, maybe 61 if you carry it out a little bit further. That was my mental math, but yeah, those 3 players are averaging together collectively more than the Blue Devils have been averaging as a team. So that's a tall task tonight to be able to, and you can't just shut one player down. I think that's really where the trouble is going to lie. Blue Devils maybe can shut 1 down, concentrate on 2, but when you have 3 players that are averaging double figures, it doesn't get much harder defensively. But you can't just stop them defensively. You got to find a way to score too. You can't expect to win a 0-0 ball game. And we've seen the Blue Devils go long stretches without scoring. It'd be nice to have that go-to scorer. Isabella Nevada obviously would have been on the court and been a major contributor to that, but she can't do anything on the bench with her bad knee. The rest of the team's trying to pick it up for her, but they got to find somebody who can consistently go to score. And hopefully they can find somebody that maybe can start hitting the outside shot, because I really think that's where the biggest struggles are, is the outside shot. Allows the defense to collapse inside and control the defensive rebounds. In that case, not spreading the floor enough, and really got to find a hot hand from the outside. I think it would do wonders for Leominster's offense.
Kate Robbins is standing by back at RFM HQ. Kate, you've had a chance to hear what Bill and I think. I'm going to make these kind of short and quick for you because we're going to be coming up against the opening introductions. What does it take for a Leominster win, and what does it take for a Mountaineer loss tonight?
Free throw that they are given. Nobody can foul out either. They need the perfect game. For Wachusett, it's steady as she goes. They need to continue to do what they've been doing all season long and play consistently. They're phenomenally well coached with Coach Jim Oxford, and he exudes confidence every year with this group. The only other thing I'd like to say, your son has decided he now wants to hold his bottle all by his onesie. I'm no longer allowed to help. He is now strong enough to hold up the glass bottle all by himself.
Everybody is playing outside of their proverbial job title tonight. Kate, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you as the night goes on. It's Leominster and Wachusett, a girls basketball tilt in North Central Mass. Measuring sticks are out. Who can compete? Who tops the league? We'll find out all of that when the 6-0 Mountaineers battle the 3-3 Blue Devils. Tip-off after opening introductions and the national anthem right here on RFM.
A very good evening, fans, and welcome to the gym at Leominster High School. for tonight's varsity basketball matchup featuring the Wachusett Mountaineers and your Leominster Blue Devils. Tonight's contest is sanctioned by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, the Midland Wachusett League, and the competing institutions. Fans, join us as we back the NFHS initiative to bench bad behavior by positively supporting the hard work of student athletes, coaches, and contest officials. Be loud, be proud, be positive. Thank you. It's time now to meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Wachusett Mountain. At guard, a senior, number 1, Emmy Allen. At guard, a junior, number 2, Mary Gibbons. At forward, a junior, number 3, Liz Kane. At guard, a senior, number 10, Logan Baker. And at forward, a senior, number 21, Kate King. The Mountaineers are coached by Jim Oxford. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Leominster Blue Devils. At center, a sophomore, number 1, Frankie Billo. At guard, a sophomore, number 2, Gina Caldwell. At guard, a sophomore, number 11, Mia Keenan. At guard, a junior, number 14, Nicole Kelly. And at forward, a junior, number 44, Juliana Pompey. The Blue Devils are coached by Rusty Frederick in his 5th season, assisted by Megan McNiff and Chris Pompey. Fans, we ask now that you please rise as we honor America and those defending our freedom with the playing of our national anthem.
And with that, we're ready for basketball here inside the gym at Leominster High School on a Tuesday night. Great to have you along with us. Wachusett in a 6-0 record in 2022-2023, and Leominster a record of 3-3. Should be an exciting matchup. Leominster coming off their most recent matchup against Neshoba, game you saw right here on RFM, and in delay with our partners at Leominster TV, a 35-31 loss for the Blue Devils to the Wolves. Meanwhile, Wachusett, their last game was Wednesday, January the 4th, on the road at a tough Franklin team, a team that they took to the woodshed, a 54-37 win for the Mountaineers. And at that point, they declared in one clear voice, Bill Thomas, they control the region.
Yeah, and you know, much like what they come off of last year, they just kept rolling.
Ball's up, tap, and it is won by the Mountaineers.
And that doesn't
Quick
take long.
ball down to the low block, and it's Mary Gibbons who lays it in, and good. And that was a little accidental offense off the tip-off, Bill
It
Thomas.
almost looked like a set play, though. Look for the from the opposite side, but yeah, didn't waste any time.
A quick steal and a follow-up foul. This one's going to go against Pompey, trying to scramble back into the action. It'll be her first.
Yeah, and that's not who you want to see picking up fouls early for sure, Todd.
Good to be Mary Gibbons if you get on the score sheet quick, Bill Thomas. That's how you end up preserving that Midwatch A 17 points a game lead. And there's Gibbons, drive down the lane, pop and kick. The jumper is good for Logan Baker. And Mountaineers are out to a quick 4-0 lead.
Not only can she score, she sees the floor well. You know, a great floor general, per se.
And in that case, she saw the defense collapsing to her, and the full court pressure comes. Kelly bothered, double dribble, got two hands on the basketball, and is a turnover, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers.
Yes, Blue Devils got to anticipate that pressure, especially early on.
Two things that Coach Oxford said about his team as that pass goes to the baseline, deflected by Kelly, not able to realize that that one, all she had was the baseline behind her, could have let it go out of play, tried to make a play, and the ball ends up off of her and will stay with the Mountaineers. Two things that Coach Oxford said about his team. They pass extremely well as Gibbons drives to the hole, lays it in, and good, and it's 6-0. Wachusett on the opening run. Just 55 seconds gone by here in the first quarter. The other thing he said, Bill Thomas, they play great full court man-on-man defense.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see, we saw that some of that already. We'll have to see if they do that off made baskets, rebounds, or when they choose to do that.
And Caldwell has the ball just taken out of her hands by Liz Kane. Up floor, they tried to press the issue. It was in and out of the hands of Pompey. Mountaineers recover, down to the low block. Gibbons gets it, the high lay-in off glass, an 8-0 run, and the timeout taken off the made basket by Coach Rusty Frederick. 6:37 to play in the first quarter. It is an 8-0 Mountaineer lead, and Bill Thomas, there's only one way to describe that, and that is swarming. They were everywhere. And right now, if you are this young Blue Devil team, you've got to be sitting there going, there's only 5 of them on the floor, because right now it feels like there's about 35 of them on the floor.
And they only have 2 arms each, you know, and they're like octopuses out there. But you're right, Todd. You know, early and often, but if you notice the way the Mountaineers have been scoring, they haven't been just chucking it up. One outside basket from Mary Gibbons, but everything else has been inside, looking for those cutters and getting layups.
Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ tonight. And Kate, early on, the numbers favor the green and white.
Well, that's an understatement for sure right now. Obviously, Mary Gibbons, a team high 6 points here in less than a minute of game time. But 2 words to describe Wachusett thus far: as advertised.
Indeed, and she's got 6 points and an assist, because she had an assist on Baker's made basket as well. Away we go out of the Blue Devil timeouts. Just 90 seconds into the basketball game. It's 8-0 Wachusett, and Leominster can't fix this all on one possession, Bill Thomas. They just need one possession to go well.
Right, but they're not going to get anything easy. Wachusett playing extended defense well beyond the three-point line, making it as hard as possible for the Blue Devils to find something.
Kelly corrals, finds Caldwell. Caldwell tries to balance the floor. 10 to shoot. That one deflected off of Bello, and it's another turnover in the direction of the Mountaineers. Three-pointer launched from straight away by Allen. Long rebound into the breadbasket of Mia Keenan. Keenan will turn the ball back up floor. Leominster wearing the home white over white, white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue and black. So that one is dribbled away by Allen. Up floor for Gibbons. Stripped by Caldwell. Great hustle play, but it ends up being a great pass to Gibbons. That rebalanced the floor. Great look. Allen wide open. Missed off the back rim, and Bellows got herself a rebound.
Nice job by the lady Mountaineers, just finding that open shooter.
Pompey fires a 3, knew it was offline, charged for her own rebound, and foul came on the rebounding action. And it's going to be filed against Kate King. This will benefit Leominster.
Foul, loose ball in the rebounding action there. Leominster gets the benefit of that.
Leominster was already falling back down floors. They assumed it was another turnover. Straight line stack along the baseline. Bello heads out to the right elbow, catches the inbound, then hands it for Kelly. Applies the screen, dropping in the corner, Keenan. Keenan, quick dribble back to the top of Key, and then reverse back to Kelly in the corner. Bello, closely guarded, shot deflected, but Kelly runs along to keep the possession alive, 16 to shoot.
Good heads-up play there on that miss Got a reset.
Now 10 to shoot. Caldwell the three up, rolls out, got her own rebound, however. Sets up a Keenan shot long, 2, and that one will go down. A determined possession for Leominster, a multi-shot possession as well, and it was all thanks to offensive rebounding. Back down floor, this is Baker, 3 from the corner.
It looks like they practiced that a few times. Drive the lane, kick it out. Nice open shot right there for the win.
2 steps forward and 3 back for Leominster as the ball goes out of play on the Pompey drive, but it was stripped out of her hands. It will stay with the blue and white on the baseline.
You know, you got to be impressed with how well Wachusett runs the lane, pulls the defense in, then finds that open shooter.
Pompey, a little underhand hook shot, will not go, and Kate King's got the rebound. King, not just an inside forward, she can handle the basketball. Brings it up floor to the arc, feeds Baker. Baker slashes the lane and finds the lay-in. And a quick pressure on the inbound, deflected out of play by Allen. And 4:16 to play here in the first quarter. It's a 13-2 opening run for the Mountaineers, and the pressure continues to be stifling. And there's the steal, and Gibbons, the little floater, bank it off the window and good.
Not wasting any time, not letting the defense get back, take it right to the hoop off that steal.
Now 4:05 to play in the first quarter and a 15-2 opening run. This is Keenan, drive back to straight away. Underhand find Pompey, launches well short of the mark. Caldwell slaps to keep it alive, deflected ball. King had inside position, and her and Pompey exchange smiles and a crack on the back, but the ball will stay the way of Leominster.
A couple of Mountaineers fighting for that off each other also. Leominster got a break there.
Inbound into the corner as Kyra Forsberg joins the fray off that stoppage. 12 to shoot for Leominster at the 3:44 mark of the first quarter. Now 8 seconds. Pompey tries to find Sabina Marwa newly into the game, and it's picked by Kate King off the corner. Here comes King, drives the floor, jumper in the lane, front rim, back rim, and it rolls.
Good ball handling skills by King right there, bringing it up the court, finding her spot.
Pompey the drive, King tapped it away. Loose ball finds Marwa at the top of the key. Pompey for Keenan, who fires up a 3. It's short of the mark. Caldwell in, but lost it across the baseline. Couple of substitutes come in for Coach Jim Oxford at this whistle. 3:10 to play in the first quarter. 17-2 Wachusett's opening quarter lead. And Bill Thomas, right now, this is, as Kate said just a little while ago, been as advertised for Wachusett. But what I'm seeing more importantly is they are going through the process of continuing to develop. They're not going to slow down here.
Oh no, Coach Oxford doesn't just ride 5. He's 7, 8, 9 deep in his bench. He's not afraid to use them.
Caldwell kicks to Pompey on an open possession for the Mountaineers. Rare in this first quarter. Pompey's shot is off the mark, and Leominster's scattered offense continues. Back down floor, it's Riley Leary playing catch with Allen. Now it's Leary, drive and kick, top of the key, King. 3 from straight away, hard in and out, long rebound out of play, and back to Leominster. 2:28 to play in the first, 17-2 Mountaineers opening lead here tonight, live on RFM. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, wherever you are, the action exists, or in delay with our partners at Leominster TV. Bradley Bedard here tonight for Leominster TV, bringing you the pictures from high above the gym tonight. Caldwell with the drive, off the mark, rebound into the hands of Majerski, new into the game. Leary gets a look for 3, and even with Pompey in her face, she delivers, and Coach Rusty Frederick spends another timeout. 2:06 to play in the first quarter. Wachusett 20 and Leominster 2.
What else can you do to defend the deep threes like that, Todd? You got to be in the uniform with the girl.
I mean, literally
right
hand in the shooting space, still able to get the shot away and deliver on it. The thing that if you want a positive for what Leominster has done here in the early quarter, always looking for a glimmer, there are opportunities on the offensive end of the floor. Defensive end right now may be a loss. You're 18 points behind, but 6 minutes into the basketball game. But offensive rebounds are available there. They've got to convert them on that end of the floor.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. You know, the shot selection hasn't been all that great, but they've been getting their opportunities, second and third opportunity. I think the made basket was off a second or third opportunity. They just got to keep pounding the boards, not giving up on the shots. Don't break down to play defense. Stay home. Hopefully get some putbacks and kind of get back into this game. But you can't give up on the shot. As soon as it goes up, if you abandon that rebound, you're going to have troubles down the other end no matter what. Crash the boards, look for those offensive putbacks, and hope for the best.
Kate, an opportunity for you to chime in here from HQ. And right now, to me, it's the scattered nature of Leominster that's most concerning on the offensive end of the floor. They're just scattered. They're trying to take whatever they can get.
No, you're certainly right. Right now, they're overwhelmed. You haven't seen stifling defense like this in Central Massachusetts, and this is a situation where they're grasping at every opportunity that they are being given, but right now they're just being overwhelmed by a really excellent team.
Keenan drives to the lane and gets that one to go, and Leominster's got their second made bucket from the field and cut the game to 16. 90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Down to the low block, pinpoint passing, and the jumper from the left block goes for Majerski.
And I think that's what you're seeing in the way the offense is being run right there. Pinpoint passing, not afraid to reverse the court and find that open girl for the short jumper.
They're playing at another level, Bill Thomas, and you can take that in many directions. Pompey takes the three hard off the back rim. Battle for the rebound goes to the floor. Marwa comes up with it, loads up a Pompey jumper from the foul line, and Leary will run it down. To that point, they're playing above the heads of the Blue Devils right now. Keep the passes up there, and Leominster right now not able to compete.
I agree, Todd. They just seem to be one step ahead of what the Blue Devils want to do.
Leary with the strip ball goes out of play, no foul call. Leominster will keep the basketball, 48 6/10 left here in the first quarter. 22-4, Wachusett's lead.
Good job by the Blue Devils just to keep the action down in their own end during that sequence.
Marwan, the driving kick for Pompey. Corner Forsberg, three. Front rim, no. Rebound, uncontested. Gibbons up floor, 3-on-2, and Kelly scrambled back in. Check it, Boulay to better the odds. The shot missed by Leary, and then Majerski on the follow-up misses. Leominster right back down floor, shot clock off, final 23 seconds of the first quarter. Forsberg, open lane, stripped by Gibbons, looked clean from the table. She's in disbelief, but she says, okay. Forsberg going to the line to shoot.
You're right, I guess so.
Yeah, I'll go with that. 19 and 8/10 left here in the first.
Coach Oxford commented about Gibbons' improvement on defense this year. She's always been a prolific scorer. And, I think that if I recall the championship game last year, that was one of the problems that Wachusett faced was Mary Gibbons got in foul trouble early, and they didn't really have an answer after that. And wouldn't be at all surprised if Mary said over the summer and in the fall, that's not happening again. I'm going to play better defense, and I'm not going to commit those fouls.
Second one goes on this trip for Forsberg, and it's 22-5. Final 16 seconds here of the first quarter. Drive, kick, through Majerski to Leary. And snap it around the horn and ends up back with Gibbons. Gibbons drives to the right elbow, now Leary. Fake baseline, stripped by Marwa. 2 seconds, one, Keenan loads. This is good if it goes! And it rims in and out at the first quarter buzzer. Kate said it, we'll stick with it. As advertised for Wachusett. Mountaineers 22, Blue Devils 5-1 here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Let's kick it back to Kate standing by at HQ with first quarter stats.
First quarter stats are all green right now. Right now, Gibbons and Baker for the Lady Mountaineers. Gibbons with 8 and Baker with 7. 22 first quarter points in a Central Massachusetts girls basketball game, or in any basketball game, boys side or girls side. If you are the opposition to that, that is a tall task for anyone. Leominster's defense has traditionally been good this year. Their offense has struggled. And right now, their defense, because they're going up against the juggernaut that is the Lady Mountaineers, defense has been struggling. Offense continues to struggle right now for the Blue Devils as well. Keenan and Forsberg, your only scorers for Leominster right now. Keenan, the only one with baskets from the field. Forsberg has that made free throw. Leominster 1 of 2 from the line thus far tonight.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. And Bill Thomas, we exchange smiles here courtside as it appears little Pat wants to get in the family business
I
already.
hear him doing some clearing his throat and doing some Googling in the back, Googling it anytime, Patrick. You can have the headset.
And the steal off the inbound. Back down floor. Lay-in will not go for Scott. Loose basketball to the floor. Battle. Still loose along the baseline. And Forsberg is going to get called for the body. And that is correctly identified by the official as she hip checked. I think it was Gibbons going to the floor.
Going for that loose ball there, but a lot of action on the floor. Officials letting them sort it out. Now, one thing I see about the Wachusett offense, the girl who's getting the ball seems to know what she's going to do with it before she even gets it. When it comes to the way Wachusett passes the ball around the perimeter, as soon as the one-step defense gets one step behind, they continue to stay behind the play.
And isn't that what good coaches tell you to do, Bill Thomas?
Be
Not only
ready.
do you want to want the ball and be ready, but know what you're going to do when you get it.
Yeah, and I tell you, as far as coaching goes, Wachusett's been coached up very nicely in that.
3-second violation will be the whistle as Liz Kane, back in the basketball game, set up a tent in the lane.
Camped out a little bit.
Whistle goes off, and just about a minute gone by here in the second frame. Still at that 22-5 opening run for Wachusett. Back down floor. It's Boulay. Find Marwa in the lane. Leary says, Marwa recovers, comes back to the right block, denied again. This time they say held basketball, and the arrow will go the way of Wachusett.
And that's a tough matchup right there. Marwa giving away a good foot. Trying to work it, though, just couldn't get it over that tree.
Do you know that Leary never left the floor while doing
I know
it?
Hands up defense, though.
My, oh my.
Hands up.
Defenders very usually will try to scatter and give up their feet easily as they come back down floor, tie up at the foul line. Forsberg and Kane. That'll go to the arrow, and possession goes back to Leominster. In that case, when you can make that kind of defensive play, Bill Thomas, and never leave your feet, it's the best resulting situation for a defender.
In total control.
Full court pressure once again. Caldwell trying to find her way through the cones, in this case represented by Mountaineer players. Down the floor, it's Boulay. Spin into the lane. Nope, that's not going to happen. Taken away there by what I believe is Reedy, although wearing 32 tonight.
Restolen back by the Blue Devils.
And Pompey with the ball. Stripped right back. 22 to shoot. 6:10 to play here in the second quarter, and Leominster searching for a spark. This is Lemansky. Drop it for Pompey. Pompey backing down Allen. Turnaround shot at the right block will not go. And Kane will tap the basketball to herself for the pick. 4-on-2 break up floor at Scott. Scott cues up Allen. Allen's three off the mark, and Boulay the rebound. Boulay. Kick back. Pompey. Sets a screen for Caldwell, and Caldwell reverses back to left. Will drop the ball off, find Pompey. Pompey with the left-hand dribble. Boulay goes down the lane with the cut, sets up a baseline pass for Caldwell's jumper. It will not go, and will roll out of play, and the ball back to Wachusett. 5:23 to play in the quarter.
I think that's one of the first times down court we've seen some good positive ball movement by the Lady Blue Devils, working that baseline, little give and go. Got a nice open look, just couldn't convert. That's what they got to do, move the ball around, and I'm seeing 3-4 Blue Devils getting trapped on the same side of the floor. A lot of congestion, just leading to these turnovers.
Feed into the post. Kane touch pass back out to Baker. Shot won't go. Long rebound. Allen goes low block. Kane scoops it up on the glass, and it will go.
Good look right there. One dribble.
Down floor, and an almost fair catch made. To the floor goes the basketball on the
easy.
battle.
Easy, girls.
And Pompey gets in there to pull the excitement apart. That was Gorham in there for Leominster.
A little over excitement right there.
A little
Tangled
enthusiasm.
up.
I mean, let's face it. And whistles will stop play. 4:51 to play here in the second quarter.
Shot clock.
I believe they are. They're
maybe.
adjusting the shot clock. I think you're right, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Went to, I don't know, taking some off. Yeah, dropped it.
Shot
Was
clock
it
corrected
30?
to
They corrected it
26.
26. Yeah, shot clock situation. Playing with 35 seconds this year, as we remind people, not 30.
That's correct.
Girls, everybody, boys and girls.
Swing for Allen. 3 from the right side won't go, but right to Kate King. Put back doesn't go. Kane's got the rebound. Back out through Allen to Baker. Baker, left side drive. Kick King, 3 away. Fouled on the three-point shot by Pompey, who turns back around and helps King to her feet. But it's 3 free throws coming up and another foul charged against Pompey.
Yeah, it jumped right into her landing spot right there and took her out. Oh, they're saying it was before the shot.
They whistle the foul on the floor.
On the floor, way out. Huh. Oh, I'm a little confused.
Judgment call. Say that was after the shot. 4:33 to play in the second quarter. 24-5. It is just a foul charged against Pompey, which hurts you either way in this case. Her second. King drives baseline, and the lay-in goes.
Going to contest that 3. I'll take you to the baseline.
And wide open did she slide to the basket. And now Gibbons just dribbles it away from Rosado, new into the game for Leominster. King makes the jump stop catch, swinging around for Gibbons. Gibbons looking for an entry pass, tried to go over the top, and it's a 3-second violation against Kane.
Gibbons not sure what to do with it, trying to get somebody open underneath, looking for a cutter.
And Coach Oxford says instead of trying to go over the top, face up with the defender so that you're facing the direction of where the ball's coming from. Halfway through this second quarter, 26-5, Wachusett maintains their lead. Leominster has slowed the bleeding. That's the good news here in quarter 2. It's Caldwell, 3 away, too strong, high off glass, in stride. It's Allen, ahead of the break, gets bodied off the play. Nice hustle play by Caldwell, getting back in to break up the lay-in. Mountaineers will keep the basketball and the ball out of bounds. 3:43 to play in the second.
Nice job there sealing the basket off from the ball handler. Thought she dribbled it off her own hip, but Mountaineers maintain possession.
Crucial point as well, Bill Thomas, about this Leominster team. Despite the situation, no give-up signs at all as King takes the shot short off the rim. Nice job by Rosado to protect the ball as it rolls out of play. And then we'll go back to Leominster. It's very easy when you have the Mountaineers on your schedule. You see they're 6-0. You know they're the North Central Mass steamroller. It's very easy to basically roll over before the game begins. And I'm seeing no sign of that from Leominster as Gibbons makes the full court pick and lay in subsequently.
Well, you got to learn even with every possession, Todd. You know, and I'm sure coaches are stressing that.
Bello for Pompey. Underhand flip back to Bello. Into the open floor at the top of the key. Long way away from where she likes to play. Tries to set the body screen. Now she'll take on King back down in the low post. This is Pompey with a baseline drive from the right. 8 to shoot and gets the bailout foul. Pompey will go to the line.
Good job right there trying to make something happen.
A continued concern, I would say, for this Leominster offense, much like we talked about on the Mountaineer end of the floor, they instinctively know where they want to go with the basketball. Leominster's offense right now doesn't seem like it quite has a plan. It's just cycle the ball, and let's hope a shot presents itself.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the same thing, Todd. No real fluidity to the offense on the Leominster end, and I'm seeing them getting jumbled up on one side of the court on occasion, which leads to way too much traffic defensively.
King's drive down through the center of the lane and sneaks the lay-in on the glass and good. And the Mountaineers have reached the 30 mark, a 25-point advantage at 2:40 to play in the second quarter.
Mountaineers doing a great job of using the lane, both sides, not afraid to drive. Put it up with either hand, well coached in that.
Rosado kept her feet, thought about the shot from straight away. It was contested. Instead, Pompey, a little push shot for 3, does not go. Gibbons the rebound. Now the run out. Headman pass, find King. King swing corner. Finds Allen. 3, long on the mark. Rosado the rebound. 2:10 to play here in the second. And here comes Caldwell. Three from the left side. High off glass, no good. Foul in the rebounding action. Sends the ball back the other way, and Gorham will get billed for the foul for Leominster.
Yeah, Leominster unfortunately seems like they've completely stopped trying to work the ball inside. Wachusett doing a great job. Hands up defense every time down the court. Just no passing lanes available. Turned into a perimeter passing game for the Blue Devils.
Keenan back in, Caldwell out. Kate King, a 4-year starter for this Mountaineers team. On her way to Wesleyan next year, she'll play basketball in the NESCAC, also known as the Little Ivy. Coach Oxford says of King, very cerebral, a good passer, scores inside and outside as well. And hey, a good ball handler, I would add, as well. We'll call that a complete player, I believe, by description.
Yeah, they're getting a good one.
And the whistle on the drive by Keenan. Push and foul on the floor, 1:40 to play here before halftime. Kate Robbins is standing by back at RFM HQ. She'll have a complete look and a first half filled with Mountaineer scoring. Coming up at the half, she'll also have a look, if it's available out there in the Twitterverse, scores around the region, including the boys' side of this matchup. Out in Holton tonight as Coach Tom Gibbons' Mountaineers playing host to Coach Kevin Grutchfield's Blue Devils. Battle to the floor, loose ball run down by Bello. Tries to cycle the ball out, it's deflected. This is Allen, head of the break, tried to swing to Gibbons, and Forsberg, body out of control, breaks up the pass out of play, and the ball will stay with Wachusett. 1:18 to play, second quarter. Shot clock showing 33. Here's the inbound. Kane goes to Gibbons. Low block bounce. King with an incredible find of Gibbons, who delivers a three.
What a way to cycle the ball around right there. Unbelievable.
It's like she knew she was there as we go inside a minute here in the second quarter. And there's King with another steal. Pulled away by Kelly, and King commits the foul, falling to the floor, trying to scramble back into the play. But let's go back to that previous play, and without the benefit of instant replay, you'll just have to pull back and rewind if you're watching on demand. But the bottom line, she got the ball going deep into the basket at the low block and basically highlighted that thing to the top of the key, knowing Gibbons was on her back door. Catch, shoot, wide open three delivered.
Well, that's the key, knowing where the next pass was going, being spot on with it.
About a 10-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Bello with the basketball for Leominster. Chasing a 33-5 Wachusett lead. This is Keenan. Leominster playing for the last shot and 8 to shoot. Bounce into the lane. Pompey scooped it up. Bello's follow on the reset, and Bello gets the lay-in to go. Might be the most important two-point basket of the season as we go inside 10 seconds. This is Allen for Leary. Gibbons there. Gibbons to the foul line. Shot good if it goes, and it will rim out no good. Halftime here inside the gym at Leominster High School, dominated by the Mountaineers, 33-7. Their lead at the half. They had a 22-5 lead in the first quarter. So you put that together, an 11-point second quarter. Leominster did half their offensive production, that of the Mountaineers, in the second quarter. A glimmer of hope for Leominster and a need to produce a whole lot of offense combined with smothering defense in the second half. That's the task at hand for Coach Rusty Frederick to draw up in the locker room. Halftime score, Wachusett 33, Leominster 7. A break, and we are back with more. Whether you're joining us in delay on Leominster TV or on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch Live tonight here on RFM, it's great to have you along with us. Halftime score, 33-7 Mountaineers. Break, and we're back with more. This is high school basketball right here on RFM. Halftime here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. Great to have you along with us here on a Tuesday night. Wachusett 33, Leominster 7 at halftime here inside the gym at Leominster High School tonight. Lots of fun action ahead this week, far from over when it comes to high school basketball here on RFM. It's the first of two doubleheader weeks here on RFM, or doubleheader nights, as the Leominster-Fitchburg girls and boys basketball doubleheader returns to the schedule twice in this 2022-2023 campaign, and that's kudos to Athletic Director Dave Palazzi and Athletic Director Craig Antossi over in Fitchburg, putting this doubleheader back on the schedule twice a year so that both varsity teams compete at the same location on the same night. Gives us the opportunity to bring you 4 Leominster-Fitchburg games before this year is out. It's Friday, January the 13th. Girls tip-off is at 7. Boys tip-off follows at 7. Girls tip-off is at 5. Boys tip-off is at 7. We got you live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, as well as in delay with our partners at Leominster TV. 2 different streams that night. First stream for the girls game. When it concludes, we will end and then start right back up again with the stream for the boys game, as in between games, there will be a presentation and induction by the New England Basketball Hall of Fame 19 North Central Massachusetts inductees into the New England Basketball Hall of Fame. We'll have that for you coming up on Friday night as well on that boys stream when we end the first one, begin the second. Join us, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, or with our partners at Leominster TV. It will be an exciting night. Lots of those inductees expected to be in attendance, or family members accepting posthumously for those who are not able to be with us on Friday night. That's the Leominster-Fitchburg doubleheader. Girls at 5, boys at 7. We're on the air just before tip-off at 5 o'clock on Friday night. Bring in Kate Robbins, standing by back at RFM HQ. And, well, Kate, I think we can officially toss it to little Patrick Robbins as well, as he's decided to be a part of the broadcast, as well as he is working on all of his sounds and syllables as well. I hope the audience doesn't mind that we are the glowing parents of a 5-month-old, but it is what it is. You're going to listen to this little guy grow up.
Everybody certainly will be listening to him, so he's a little bit chatty, but that's okay. He's enjoying the game. He enjoyed doing setup tonight, so it's an exciting night for little P.
Great to have him part of this little family band, if you will, as well. 33-7, Wachusett on top of Leominster at the half. You said at the end of the first quarter, Wachusett, as advertised. The good news for Leominster, Kate, they did stem the tide of the offensive production in the second half, but not enough, especially when you're not producing enough points to respond.
Well, and that's kind of the material point, Todd. I was wondering how long it was going to take you and Billy to kind of take a look at the scoreboard and note that Leominster didn't have a basket made from the field until the waning moments of the half there in that second quarter. So Bello with the only points from the field for Leominster in the second quarter. So they have 7 points. They only had 2 points in the second quarter. So on the flip side, although their defense was able to slow down the juggernaut that is the Mountaineers still have a 26-point lead right now at the half. They have offensive production from 6 different individuals on the stat sheet, and right now their number of steals almost reaching the number of turnovers for the Mountaineers. So right now the Mountaineers defense has been absolutely lights out, and their offense has been just as prolific as we have noted all season long.
Indeed, and their defense is creating those opportunities as well. I mean, smothering anything Leominster is ultimately trying to do, and I think taking what is already maybe a little bit scattered, it might be one of the weaknesses of this Leominster team, is they're still young and growing and trying to figure out where that basketball is supposed to go to productively get themselves the shots that they want. But when you add in a smothering defense, you don't have enough time to think, let alone try to learn on the fly.
Well, the thing, and Billy mentions it, and every single time we have the opportunity to see this Mountaineers team play, we always take the opportunity to see them because they're just so fluid and they move the ball. Their ball movement is just so beautiful. it's it's collegiate-esque, if you will, when you take a look at this girls basketball team when they are firing on all cylinders. We have seen them stumble before in the playoffs. Things did not look so fluid, did not look so meticulous. But on the whole, these young ladies that play for this Mountaineer team, they put on a clinic of passing, as Bill Thomas has mentioned. And not only that, they're phenomenal shooters both inside the paint and along the exterior, along that perimeter. So they really do tick all the boxes when it comes to playing basketball at this level. And so that's, we always like to see this team just because, in earnest, they're beautiful to watch on the court.
It is. It's poetic, to say the least. Let's get those numbers, Kate, the full rundown of those first half numbers before we get the start of the second half.
All right. P says he wants us to start on Leominster's side of the ball. So team totals, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 14 turnovers. They have offensive production from Bello, who had the lone 2 points of the second quarter for the Blue Devils. Keenan has 4 points, and Forsberg has 1 point. She was 1 of 2 from the line. So that's 7 points on offense for the Blue Devils. If you take a look at the Mountaineers side of the ball, 14 rebounds, 7 steals, 8 turnovers, and once again, offensive production from 6 different Mountaineers. Leary has 3 points, Gibbon with a team high 13 points, Kane with 4, Baker with 7, King with 4, and Majerski with 2 points. So right now, that 26-point lead is both prolific, and it's certainly something that they can work with in the second half.
Daunting, to say the least, Kate. Thank you so much. As always, we'll check back in with you and Little P in the second half.
Sounds good.
Welcome back in, Bill Thomas, to our courtside broadcast position. And Bill Thomas, we were talking a little bit about the numbers. They are that mountain that is awfully tall to climb. And forgive the reference here, but this is the only thing I can think of right now for Leominster. It's the old Price is Right there. It's the old cliffhanger game. You're watching the little guy yodeling his way up the hill. The number gets higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and it seems like as you climb, the mountain gets taller and taller and taller.
Not only taller and taller, but steeper and steeper too, Todd. And yeah, I mean, and really the only way for the Blue Devils to break this game down is to break it down by quarters, break it down by possessions, and try to win the small battles, and then gradually try to fight your way back into the game. A couple of turnovers, a couple of fouls, and you get it down into a manageable, maybe in the teens, and then you go from there. But it's a tall task to ask for these girls, and I think Kate said it well earlier when I think between the first and second quarter, 22 points that Wachusett had. Most boys teams would be happy with 22 points in a quarter, and I think this Wachusett girls team would match up against most of the boys varsity teams in the area to begin with. So I think it's a testament to the coaching and just to the basketball machine that they have over there at Wachusett.
At least their offensive production, to say the least,
absolutely
matches up well against most of the programs
and the way
we've
they
seen
play
thus far.
defense too. The hands-up defense all the time. All the time.
Gorham step around and misses the shot. Gibbons the rebound and back down floor. So, Bill Thomas, I'll ask you as we're watching here on the floor, how do you do it? It's one thing, I agree with you. You break it down, it's possession by possession, it's quarter by quarter. But here's the choices Coach Frederick faces. Okay, you double team Gibbons, that leaves King open. You double team Gibbons and King, the other 3 right now offensively, probably struggling a little bit. I would say Allen may be struggling the most. Had some beautiful looks in the first half, and they just didn't fall for her in the first half. So do you take the risk? Do you double the 2 and then try to, basically have 1 defender against 3 and hope that they just keep missing?
Well, whatever you were doing in the first half, you got to change up. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Whether you change up your defense, you change the look, you get a nice inside turnaround, you got to do something different.
And Bello gets the opening basket of the second half, and for Leominster, that's something different. They've got the opening basket of the half 1 minute into this third quarter. I think they also need more 2-for-1 possessions. They had an open possession that led to that basket, and now Gibbons gets the open look and drills a 3.
And the last time we saw the Blue Devils come down and score a 2, the Mountaineers came right back and scored 3. So it's almost like you're playing behind the possessions, even when you do score.
This is Keenan. Driving kick for Caldwell. Caldwell underhands, find Pompey. Pompey fade away, 3, and she responds. And Leominster into double digits at the 6:22 mark of the third quarter. It's 36-12.
Once again, break this third quarter down and then go from there.
Gibbons' pass may have been deflected, but they say it was thrown out of play. And the turnover, and back to Leominster, another open possession.
Turnover on one, take away on another. That's how you work your way back into a game.
Starting 5 on the floor for Wachusett. Starting 4 out of 5 for Leominster as Denim Gorham is in for Leominster on the low block as opposed to Nicole Kelly on a turnover and the ball back to Wachusett.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you're seeing offensively, Todd, is Blue Devils consistently put the ball on the floor and try to dribble to a new spot instead of looking for that second and third pass where Mountaineers are bang, bang, bang. They get it to that third person, and more often than not, they're open shooter.
Allen, foul line catch. Kane, open. Lay-in is good.
4 passes right there, Todd. The ball never touched the floor. Never touched the floor. I mean, they made my point right there as I was talking about it. Thank you.
And it's over, Bill Thomas, by the time you can even think and set up your defense. It was 4 passes in a matter of a second. This is Keenan. Keenan drives, foul line, pops a shot, off the mark, loose basketball on the floor. Kane tries to take it in stride, cannot, and Bello comes up with the loose basketball.
You know, when you look at the offensive philosophies,
Keenan fires up a 3 as the shot clock never reset. Ball never made it on the rim, and there was never officially a possession for the Mountaineers. Yeah. So Leominster has the ball as it goes out of bounds still, but just 4 seconds to shoot.
You know, I think what you're seeing, Todd, is the Blue Devils are trying to dribble their way into open shots. Mountaineers are passing the way into open shots, and the passing way is the most successful way tonight.
The officials are going to get together here as they are trying to decide whether the ball ever turned over or possession ever changed.
Stay with the shot
They say
clock.
no. Shot clock stays at 4. Pompey foul line pop. Floater is short, and Gibbons runs it down. That is a shot clock horn. Down floor in transition. It's Kane. Took off a little early, but was still able to adjust in the air and get the lay-in to go. Mountaineers are first to 40.
Nice job by Gibbons, dribbling with a head up, couple of dribbles, and leading that fast break up the court.
Marwa misses a wild shot, and that was at the 5-minute-ish mark of the third quarter. The Mountaineers reach the 40 mark. Here's the drive. Pompey collides with the basketball and denies Baker a shot. Here's Pompey. Back down floor, splits the defense. Ball is out of bounds and will go back to the Mountaineers. Pompey out of control. Gets no help on a whistle, stepping between 2 defenders.
Yeah, I got some legs tangled up there, but didn't get a call out of it.
4.5 to play here in the third quarter. 40-12. Mountaineers on top of Leominster, and great to have you along with us here live on RFM or in delay with our partners at Leominster TV. 3 away will not go for Allen. Continues cold from beyond the arc. Keenan's drive, though, and Allen responds with the block. Ball out of play, and Leominster will keep the basketball.
Clean block right there, stayed with that drive.
Caldwell for Lemansky. Marwa with the pass to Coach Frederick, who I got to say might be the most tenacious-looking person on the sideline.
He's still coaching. He's coaching every possession for sure.
Halfway through this third quarter, 40-12. The lead for the Mountaineers. Here's Allen, cues up a 3, and she drills it.
Couple of quick passes, no dribbling in between, leads to an open shot.
3:45 and counting here in the third. Caldwell, crossover, step back, gave up the dribble with Allen right inside of her personal space. Drop it off for Kelly. Kelly reverses direction to the right, drops it to Keenan. Keenan the screen for Lemansky. Drop it back, Marwa. Marwa with the dribble, pops the shot, catches glass, loose basketball to the floor, still loose, loose again, and King comes up with the rebound. King cross court, sees Riley for Gibbons. 3 away, back rim no. Allen the rebound, put back won't go. Allen a third opportunity on the possession, her second offensive rebound of the trip. It cues up a Leary 3 that will not go. And the loose basketball comes down in the hands of Kelly, who has it taken away right away. And Gibbons, arabesque-esque, that one goes over the head and in.
Nice job on the steal, staying with it. Doing a little reverse layup on the baseline, making it count.
2:40 to play here in the third. It's 45-12.
More hands-up defense right there.
It's Keenan. Keenan drives, kick Kelly. Kelly's jumper, front rim, no. Marwa put back. Marwa fouled by Riley, and Marwa's going to the line to shoot two. 2:22 to play here in the third, a 45-12 Mountaineer lead, and Marwa is at the line shooting two here, Bill Thomas, where every point matters at this point in the basketball game.
Makes the first one count.
Marwa can't get the second to go, but we got a lane violation. And it's
Marwa with a little hesitation. They had pretty much everybody leaning in.
the lane violation was billed against Wachusett, so Marwa gets another opportunity. Boulay is at the table, and Marwa says she's a sub for the shooter. And Marwa body Englishes that one home.
Good job in that third attempt.
Coming up at the conclusion of this one here in our courtside broadcast position, we will hear from both head coaches in tonight's basketball game. We'll hear from Wachusett Mountaineer head coach Jim Oxford. We'll also hear from Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick, as always. Coming up post-game, just because the action ends doesn't mean the broadcast does, as Allen drives the lane and gets the lay-in to roll.
I want to ask Coach Oxford, how does he coach anticipation? Because every girl that has the ball seems like she's anticipating already where she's going to make that next pass.
That one was knocked down by Scott. The loose ball cues up a Forsberg three, and she delivers. Second three-pointer of the night for Forsberg, if I remember correctly. Kate will confirm that in about 96 seconds. This one tapped away, loose ball to the baseline. It's Lemansky. Lemansky for Forsberg, and Leominster with the steal.
Good defense inside right there. There was Forsberg, reached over and knocked that away.
Boulay fakes top of the key, creates some space. Leary levitates and swats the ball out of the air.
What timing right there. Let it get by her a little bit and then time to jump perfectly.
1:19 to play in the third. Wow. The body control, the clean nature, the ability to take a ball clean out of the hands of an offensive player by a defender. Wow. Drive inside Kelly. Shot missed everything. Scott the rebound. 1:05 to play here in the third. Leary the drive. Kick, find Majerski. Hits the trail, it's Allen. Deflected by Majerski onto Leary, who under a minute to play now in the third. Leary, corner, Gibbons. Three, buried.
Made that pass off the dribble, Todd. Never hesitated on the up on the bounce, right over in the corner. Nice job.
7 minutes into this third quarter, and the Mountaineers have reached the 50 mark. It's 50-17. Forsberg, the left-hand drive, changes hands over the front of the rim, and it goes.
Good use of the baseline right there.
Back down floor, it's Allen to Majerski in traffic, denied by Lemansky. Loose ball to Gibbons. Gibbons for Leary. Thought about it, then decided to take. Now Scott, Leary in space, got the shot up short. Battle for the rebound, Forsberg. And Forsberg pivots into the clear. Shot clock off, final 10 seconds of the third. Baseline find. It's Boulay, underhand for Lemansky, who gets the lay-in to go.
Nice job right there. Get that cutter.
And launching it at the buzzer, it's Gibbons. She got the support but couldn't get the ball to roll. Third quarter in the books here inside the gym tonight. It's Wachusett 50 and Leominster 21.
I don't know if I'm more impressed by the Mountaineers' ability to score or their ability to pass the ball and find the open girl to lead to a score. A thing of beauty, Todd. You know, it's and the timing couldn't have been any better when I talked about the passer without the dribbling, and they come up court and run a four-pass play and end up with a wide-open shot. I think next time down the court they ran a three-pass play. Ball never touched the floor. other coaches out there, they should take a look at this tape and see how Wachusett does it, because they've definitely found the secret sauce to success.
Indeed, they have. Kate Robbins is standing by back at RFM HQ. And Kate, through 3 quarters, we're at 50-21. Leominster offensively had some success, particularly in that second 4-minute interval of the third quarter.
Yeah, the Blue Devils did much better. They now have 6 different people contributing on the offensive stat sheet. Pompey had one of the 2 big 3-point shots there. Forsberg had the other in the third quarter. So Leominster's offense is starting to show up here in this third quarter. The problem is that they have not been able to slow down the offensive production for Wachusett right now. Gibbons, through 3, has a team-high 21 points already for the Mountaineers. Right now, the lead is 36.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. Back to action here in the fourth. This is Gibbons. Inside, drop Majerski. Baseline, Scott swinging around. Gibbons, even deeper 3. Yep, she's got that one too.
And they got the Blue Devils defense just chasing the ball, but a step late. Third and fourth pass is finding an open shooter. More often than not, it's Gibbons.
Forsberg, caught in the left corner, goes cross-court skip. It was deflected by Gibbons. Kelly Corrals tried to feed Lemensky, and it rolls off for out of play. 7:12 to play here in the fourth. It's 53-21, Wachusett. Where do these two teams go from here? Well, Wachusett heads Friday on the road once again, this time another Central Mass rival, their arch rival in Shrewsbury. 7 o'clock that tip-off on Friday night. And then Leominster, we mentioned the front end of the doubleheader, the Fitchburg-Leominster doubleheader returning to the schedule. And Bill Thomas, we talked about this a little bit at halftime. At least I gave my editorial thought. I credited A.D. Palazzi and A.D. Antossi for getting these doubleheaders back on the calendar. At both home and away, play the 2 varsity games at the same location. Better for the crowd, better for the region, better for the broadcast to serve the region. It's win-win all around.
Absolutely, and it doesn't force, especially student fans. Yeah, if you're a parent, you're going to follow your child to whichever they're playing. If you got a boy and a girl playing, splitting duties, but I think it gets the student bodies together. It doesn't make them have to choose which game they want to go watch, and it just overall generates a lot more excitement.
And we'll have it all for you, including the induction of 19 North Central Mass basketball names into the New England Basketball Hall of Fame. Boulay off the foul, 2 of 2 at the foul line, and closes Leominster within 30 once again. 6:45 to play here in the fourth. Here's the swing and drive. Tied up at the line. Loose ball comes for Rosado. Rosado bounces, fine. Kelly, who gets ahead of the break, lays it in and good.
Did a good job there. Stayed just far enough away from the defender.
That was Majerski. Inside out for a Leary 3.
3 more, no dribble passes. Lead to an open 3.
The crisp nature of the possessions. There's a pace to it. There's a tone to it. There's a rhythm. And that one tipped away by Scott, the freshman, from behind.
And everybody's taking turns touching the ball too, Todd. Entire offense is involved. Oh, nice inside
Reedy
pass.
inside, fine for Majerski. This is Leary. Out for Reedy. Into the corner and back and forth. The catch continues. Majerski tries to go face up. Cue up for Abdu Guamafi.
Blocked by Bello there.
Indeed. Loose ball to the floor. In transition. This is Pompey. 5:22 to play in the fourth. Rosado, the sophomore, seeing some extended action. 3 from straight away, short off the front rim. Adu with the rebound. She outlets, finds Leary. Leary tries to dribble back, top of the key. Now Adu. Swing, Reedy. 3, doesn't go. Rebound long, find Forsberg. Outlet, down floor, finds Kelly, who misses the lay-in. And Adu was wide open for the rebound.
There's some footsteps there, I think, Todd.
Response back down floor is Majerski. It will not go, but the rebound, Scott bangs it off of Pompey, and the ball ends up out of play. And now Coach Rusty Frederick will spend a timeout. 4:44 to play in the fourth. Wachusett 56 and Leominster 25. Fouls have been very few and far between on both sides of the proverbial floor tonight. And Bill Thomas, we're barely an hour into actual time for this basketball game. Limited whistles, end-to-end action, whole lot of points, but that doesn't slow the clock.
Yeah, officials letting them play. Not a lot of tie-ups that we typically see in a girls basketball game, but tell you, Wachusett Lady Mountaineers just so proficient with the basketball and offense, and the way they play defense is fun too. Hands up, constantly moving, extended to the three-point. Nothing easy is coming down the offensive end for the Lady Blue Devils, but Mountaineers are down on the offensive end. I know Kate's not counting assists or keeping track of assists, but I'd say 3/4 of the baskets probably have 2 clean, crisp passes prior to that basket. I know you only give out 1 assist, but they should, the way the
primary,
Mountaineers are
secondary
playing,
basket.
they should treat some of these plays like hockey does and give that initial pass some credit to the second pass, then to the open shooter. But just a great clinic being put on tonight of passing, and then finishing by the Lady Mountaineers.
Bill Thomas alluded to it moments ago. Usually a lot more tied up, a lot more congested basketball, and I think you got to credit that to the way the Mountaineers play the game. They spread the floor. It's fast-paced. They move in open space so fluidly.
They don't dribble into traffic.
Teams may be better off trying to create some congestion, force the ball into tight spots. Riley, 3, short of the mark, and Rosado the rebound. To Rosado, the drive, kick back Bello. We alluded to it a little bit, Bill Thomas, a little while ago. Talked about, what are your options if you're Coach Frederick around the half to how you change things. If you are a coach looking ahead at this game tape, one of the Mountaineers' many opponents that are coming up, and they've got some big games ahead. They got Newburyport, they've got Westford ahead, they got Bishop Girton from New Hampshire, and Chicopee, and Central Catholic, and Franklin, all these games ahead of them this year. Where is it? If you're the coach and you're zeroing in and you're watching the game tape, what's the thing you zero in on? Where is the opening that you can create?
I'm not really sure, Todd. I don't see a weakness in this Mountaineers team right now. I'd be hard-pressed as an opposing coach to know how to attack them.
Pompey's long 2 will not go, and Scott the rebound, and then a foul by Gorham on the rebounding action. And Billy, I'll echo your sentiment. I think it's one of those, thus far, from what we've seen tonight, and certainly what we've seen in their previous 6 wins, it's a pick your poison sort of scenario. You do this, we're going to do that, and vice versa.
And I think that the Mountaineers passing is just so crisp, but if you try to attack the ball handler, the ball's not going to be there. You're going to be a step slow, and then you end up chasing the ball, and they're such good passers. That's where that third pass is leaving to open shots.
This is Leary. Back to straightaway of what we believe is Reedy. Leary a 3, hard in and out. Rebound for Forsberg. 3:20 to play in the fourth quarter, 56-25. Wachusett on top of Leominster. Rosado looks for the entry, Bello. Nice tap by the freshman Scott to interfere, and this one gets deflected out of play. Well, Bill Thomas, as you sit here with only a limited number of numbers and you play a guessing game and figure out who's who, it always defeats when you think maybe they misprinted 32 and 33 when a 33 appears on the floor that's actually a forward. So Elizabeth Reedy is out on the floor wearing 33 as originally listed. So unfortunately, I have a limited roster. I don't have a 32.
And you know what? It's almost like deja vu football all over again. Somebody shows up on the field that, you want to give them credit, you just don't know who they are.
Forsberg the drive, Adu commits the foul. Forsberg goes to the line to shoot 2.
And you can kind of try to help yourself out a little bit and look around, but yeah, hey, it happens.
We'll get all the names at some point.
You do pretty good here, regardless of your minor fault now and then from not knowing every single girl by looks, Todd.
What's our, as Forsberg can't get the first to go, what's the New York Times, all the news that's fit to print?
Yep.
or the Washington Post, one of those. All the news that's fit to print. So all the names that fit on the card, I'll give you all of them. Still don't have the right one, though.
We love passing the credit around where credit's due, that's for sure. And if you're on the court, you're contributing. We want everybody to know you're out there.
That's right. Forsberg goes 0 of 2 on the trip, and Scott's got the rebound. 2:35 and counting here in the fourth. Into the corner, loose ball, Gorham with the takedown, no whistle. Transition, it's Pompey. Pompey, left elbow jumper, will not go. Riley the rebound, taken away by Rosado almost immediately. Cross court, Forsberg, left wing, Gorham, long 2, back rim, no. Tap on the rebound, and they'll say Lemansky had the contact, and the ball will go back the other way.
Lucky she didn't get called coming over the top there.
Say she could have had the push from behind. The out of bounds, probably the better of results.
Exactly.
Final 2:10 here of the fourth. These two teams will meet again on the road at Wachusett on Tuesday, February 7th. Reedy finds Leary. 3 away. Side rim, no. Gorham the rebound. 1:48 and counting here in the fourth. Gorham, open look, short of the mark and out of play. 1:43 to play here in the fourth quarter. Coming up post-game, Kate's got your complete stat recap, give you all the numbers calculated for this one tonight, and both head coach Jim Oxford of Wachusett and Rusty Frederick of Leominster join us here at our courtside broadcast position, and then we'll send you on into your night if you're joining us here live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch here on RFM. If you're joining us with our partners at Leominster TV, you'll be back with us for high school basketball action in delay for that Fitchburg doubleheader on Friday night. Girls at 5, boys at 7, broadcast all the way around and in between as well.
With some action in between also.
Indeed. It's a night that you just get home, settle in, put the snack fridge right there by the chair, and we'll be with you for about the next 5 hours once we get going. Marois, dribbling without end, deflected ball, new number into the game. It's Ella Beelan getting the first touch of the year. Loose ball, run down, under a minute to play here in the fourth. The Mountaineers will press down floor 4-on-2. Drop for Reedy, and that's at least 4 steps, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
Good look on that fast break, though. Just had that pass a little bit too far away from the basket. Could have taken a dribble. Got billed for the travel.
Marois sees Beelan, and into the game, delivers a 3. The junior Ella Beelan hits a 3 in the closing minute of the fourth. Scott works off the dribble. Push shot will go.
Good job right there to get open, get around the defender.
Marois drive behind the basket, loose, ado. Beelan collided with the ball out of play. Wachusett keeps the basketball. 20 and 1/10 left in this one. A long distance pass. It's Adu, finds Riley, who basically says what everyone's thinking, which is, what are you doing? Gunning that one to midcourt.
No look pass right there.
Shot clock is off. Mountaineers trying to dribble it out. Leominster will press the defense, not understanding that they are trying to dribble out the game. This one reaches its conclusion. Wachusett still perfect in 2022-2023. They are 7-0 on the back of a 58-28 win over their Central Mass rival Leominster.
And I think what we saw tonight was kind of what we expected. Both teams playing to their expectations, their capabilities, what they have done the early season here. No surprises. Glad to see the Blue Devils continue to play after falling behind early. Pretty much, I don't want to say played them even through quarters, second 2, 3, and 4, but falling behind by 20 in the first 8 minutes. That's a tough nut to crack, and to expect a claw back from that. But to play even, break the game down, find some positives. Even though it turns into a 30-point loss, I'm sure Coach Fredericks is going to find something to build on from this game. And there's always some positives to be taken out of a loss. That
will be the final note that I think, if you're Coach Rusty Frederick, the thing you can take away in my mind is your point, which is Leominster never quit. They played 4 quarters from start to finish. They knew arriving at the gym tonight they were overmatched. and they never played like it. They played contiguous, they played hard, they gave it everything they have, and sometimes, at the end of the night, you just go, congratulations, you're the better basketball team tonight.
I mean, sometimes skill levels just don't match up, and that's the nature of the beast. But heart is something that everybody can have. You might not have the physical skill, but you put that little extra heart into it, you get a little more out of it. I hate the term, we'll give 110%, but the girls are out there giving 100% all the time. Sometimes the matchups just are not in your favor. You can't make magic happen if it's not presented in a fashion that you can work with it. You can't take cement and form it like putty dough. I think that the task was really tall tonight for the Blue Devils. I think they have nothing to be ashamed of the way they played. They played hard right to the final buzzer, and I think it proved right there they're still out there trying to steal the ball with 5 seconds left. All the Mountaineers want to do is go home. Blue Devils didn't want this game to end right there, and I think that shows what's inside of them, and they're going to continue to fight as the season progresses. It's only one loss. I don't care if it's 1 point or it's 30 points. It only counts as one loss in the scorebook, and they'll fight back from this.
Indeed they will. Final score, Wachusett 58 and Leominster 28. Mountaineers are 7-0, and Leominster falls to 3-4. For those of you joining us in delay on Leominster TV, I want to thank Bradley Bedard for bringing you the pictures tonight, and for Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying so long to those of you joining us on Leominster TV. We're going to get Coach Jim Oxford set up here in our courtside broadcast position, and we will continue. If you're joining us live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, stick and stay. More to come. Post-game next. This is high school basketball right here on RFM. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, final score, Wachusett 58 and Leominster 28. Mountaineers 7-0 in this 2022-2023 campaign. Welcome to our courtside broadcast position. Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins will be back with me in a matter of moments, but we welcome, as promised, Wachusett head coach Jim Oxford joins us here at our courtside broadcast position after a 30-point win tonight. And Coach, you said to me in a couple of things. You said that your group passes extremely well and plays tough full-court defense. Boy, do you ever, Kate said after the first quarter, and we kind of have used it as our theme tonight, everything as advertised with your Wachusett team.
Yeah, this team is great passing. They're so unselfish. They look for each other. And we've got a couple of seniors who've started since they were freshmen, and a couple of juniors who've got a lot of playing time since they were freshmen, so they know each other really well. But it's something that we emphasize. One more. Just keep the ball moving until you find your teammate who will be open to get a good shot. And defensively, that's just how we play. We just want to get up and contest everything. I think that's our identity. Get up, play real hard defense, wear teams down, create turnovers or uncomfortable situations for offenses so we can get out and run and get easy transition baskets.
Billy pointed this out a couple of times on your possessions, maybe more than a couple of times, and that's the number of times that once you got to the half court offensively, the ball never hit the floor.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 passes, basket. 1, 2, 3, 4 passes, basket. You absolutely lived that one more mentality.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, we run drills where we don't allow them to dribble, so they just have to try to create offense without the dribble. You know, we've got Liz Kane back this year is such a huge asset for us. You saw how fast she moves from being a defensive post to being an offensive post in transition, and there's really no one that stayed with her this year. I really do believe if we had her last year, we would not have lost in the state semis to Springfield Central. She's just she's a game stretcher. She can do rim runs, and you just can't you can't cover that when you've got your post player that can beat even the opposing guards to the rim, and so that's a huge help for us.
One of the plays that really stood out to me, and I think it was, well, we'll use the term accidental for lack of a good one at this moment in time. But I think to me it was more than that. It was the fact that it appeared not to be accidental. King drove deep down this end of the floor. She either got a rebound or something. She ended up underneath the basket. And she knew that if she just instinctively flung the ball back, about three-quarter arm style, Gibbons was right there on her back door waiting for a three-pointer, and Gibbons just stepped into a three, bang, and delivers. I mean, talk about playing at a level that is above the others. That was impressive.
They know where they are. I mean, they you know, we tell our kids when the ball goes to the rim, flatten out on the baseline so you get that passing angle for the person with the ball in her hands. And then the other players just circle movement and rotate, so they're moving to the right spots. But it just takes the person being willing when she goes to the basket to make the pass. I mean, a lot of times girls will go through and just do something silly, but they really try to hit the ball, hit each other with the pass, which leads to good shots.
We talked a little bit about in the broadcast the way that the game typically, girls basketball, at least here in Central Mass, is played. It's very congested. There's a lot of bodies in and around the ball. And tonight we felt like the game was wide open.
Oh, yeah.
You seem to stretch the floor really well, create space, and use that open space.
Got to create space. That's a good point. I think my daughter's a ninth grader, and she plays third grade travel basketball. I mean, is a 9-year-old playing third grade travel basketball.
I was going to say the other way. It was impressive.
Yeah, that was. But you're right. They just all gather and convene in the middle. And we're trying to teach them spacing. Well, high school basketball is the same way for girls. Boys, not so much. Boys will understand spacing, but we work at it. Good things happen when you force defenses to get out. And if you have guards that can attack the rim, that opens up the paint for them. And so it creates a lot of more opportunities for us.
You leave it at that? Yeah. I'm going to give you one more Bill Thomas quote from tonight because I think it speaks to complement what your program has done to this point in time. And he said he would like to see you matched up against some of the best male teams in the region this year, at least offensively. Let's take the physical component out for a minute. At least the offensive production that you're producing compared to other teams in this region, male or female, is incredible.
Yeah. That's interesting to think about. The boys
they're different games.
They're just so physically dominant.
They are different games.
You know, I will say with this group too, this is the hardest schedule I've ever played. So only the Midwatch schools are the Central Mass schools that we play. Every other game in our schedule is out of Central Mass, and so we've already played, I think, 7 of the Globe's. We will play by the time the year is over 7 or 8 of the Globe's top 20 schools. So, you know, we play at Franklin. Eastern Mass basketball is a lot different than Central Mass basketball. And so when we go play at some of these other places in Eastern Mass, those teams are better. I mean, the way they play is they're more out. They've got more kids on their teams with better basketball skills than Central Mass teams do. So that's really helped us. I mean, we always play a tough schedule, But this year it's really, really, really hard. But it pays off because our kids just get better and better from it.
And it will pay off at the end. You got Shrewsbury coming up on Friday night, another Central Mass Challenge, and also a school rival as well.
And in closing, I will say what about the Leominster team. So the pieces are here. They just haven't yet figured this out. Rusty will figure this out. He's got 7 or 8 really good sophomores and juniors. Once they figure it out, they're going to be very good. The talent's here. The pieces are here. They just have to. It's like, I think the last game you guys were talking about stuff you're going to do for your kids when you get home.
Sure.
It's like parents on Christmas Eve when they put things together for kids for gifts. They take all these pieces and they put them together and they make something. It's going to happen. I mean, I have so many of the Leominster girls in my classes, and I just tell them it will happen. I mean, the light switch will go off with this group, and they're going to be very, very good.
Indeed, they will. Challenges like tonight certainly do help. Coach, we're going to find a way to catch up with you somewhere before this year ends.
Hey, you're always.
As well.
I love you guys. You're always welcome to come down and do any game you want to.
I
mean,
appreciate
I
that.
just think this is. I wish we had this down there in Holden. I really do. This is fantastic.
Maybe we'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Coach Jim Oxford, Mountaineers, a winner tonight, 50-28. We step aside. More to come. Coach Rusty Frederick on deck. We're back with more in a moment. You're watching high school basketball right here on RFM. Thank you, sir. Always appreciate it. Back to our courtside broadcast position. Todd Robbins now with Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick, kind enough to join us here as always. 58-28, Wachusett a winner tonight. And Coach, the term we've been using all night is as advertised. This Mountaineer team, everything they were advertised to be. But your team gave them everything they had for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen film on them, and they come in and they're even bigger and better. I mean, sometimes you watch film and, you know, they're playing some damn good teams out there, and so it looks like you can, well, let's play man-to-man, not try to give up the three-point shots, but they're just, you know, physically they're bigger and stronger and fast. You hope you have something over them, but we're still looking.
We sat here and tried to dissect it ourselves, try to figure, okay, what are our options? You know, what are the options Coach Frederick's looking at? Okay, well, you've got Gibbons and King. If you were to double 2 of them, that takes 4 players out of your offense. It leaves 1 on 3. The other 3, at least in the first half, were struggling offensively. Allen's shot didn't really come along till the 3rd quarter. There were some options there, but at that point, you are putting 4 bodies on 2 to send 1 on 3. Mathematically, it's not a great option. And then the other alternative being the sort of the more limited option, double 1 of them or another. It just feels like it's sort of a pick your poison kind of scenario.
Yeah, I mean, they got players, so it's not like, and they can see over us too. So it makes their passes, and they make good crisp passes. That, you know, the bigs are moving. They're in there. You know, they're legit. You can see that they play all the time. You know.
We talked about this a little bit with Coach Oxford. We talked about it in the game as well, and that is the use of space. The girls' game in particular here in Central Mass is a congested game. It tends to be bunched up. It tends to be tight, a lot of held balls. Tonight, the floor spreads so much. Wachusett does such a great job working in space. How does that change your tactics when your players are used to playing such a bunched up tight game? Now they've got to defend the whole floor. They got to offensively play the whole floor as well.
Yeah, that was something I pointed out before the game, was like how they don't get stuck to that 3-point line. They'll bring it out as far as they can, and that's like a teaching point too. It's like we always get stuck at that 3-point line where you got to make more room. Like if they have to come out and play you further, it's harder to defend you. And now you can see when a double team comes, you know where you're going with the ball.
And so at some point, you've got to just keep stretching and stretching and stretching. And you bring up another point, the knowing where you're going with the ball. Certainly that was something we've complimented about the Mountaineers. They seemed like they got the ball, they knew where it was going next, and that's something that coaches, basketball coaches, any level, any gender, doesn't matter. You get the ball, go to the ball, and know what you're going to do with it when that opportunity presents itself. And that is something that certainly Wachusett's experience demonstrates, but is a point for your players to learn from as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to play zone, but, they were just getting by us too easy early on, and it was just too easy for them. And so we had to go zone. And, you got to give them something, Let's play zone and see if we can keep them out of the paint a little bit and contest some shots. Overall, I thought we played aggressive in the second half. Don't worry about the score and just get better. We got nothing to lose here.
And that was a point I think that is well taken. Your team played 4 quarters of basketball, never stopped, never quit, never rolled. They were in this game from start to finish, and it will benefit them in the long term. Say it again. You're starting 3 sophomores and 2 juniors, and you're starting 5.
Yeah, we've been young for some time now, but we're growing, and, believe me, I'm not satisfied with our record right now. We need to really, Friday, we got to come and we got to play hard and get a win. And then let's go from there and pile up some wins in a row.
And Fitchburg here inside the gym on Friday. No better time to light a fire than to get the rival here. The doubleheader's back. You'll have the big crowd. It's a big night with the New England Basketball Hall of Fame here. There's just so many moving pieces, and we've said it. We're so excited these doubleheaders are back on the schedule. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, it's a great night. The girls actually get, the gym's full for both teams. The girls, they're filling it in, and the noise and it's just fantastic, and it's awesome to experience it.
Coach, always appreciate the time. We will see you on Friday night.
Nice mask.
Hey, thanks. Same to you. Some would say it's an improvement for both of us. Kate Robbins is standing by back at RFM HQ. She's got your complete stat recap of this 58-28 Wachusett victory.
Just kidding. So we've got our stat recap for the Blue Devils. First team totals: 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 24 turnovers. 4 of 9 were the Blue Devils from the charity stripe. They shot 44%. At the end of the game, the Blue Devils have 9 different contributors to the offensive stat sheet. Bello and Turnite with 4 points. Boulay and Turnite with 2. Marwa with 2. Keenan with 4. Phelan with 3. Kelly with 2. Forsberg with a team-high 6 points. Lemansky and Turnite with 2. And Pompey and Turnite with 3 points. Now for the Mountaineers side of the ball, team totals: 25 rebounds, 7 steals, 14 turnovers for Wachusett. 8 different contributors to the offensive stat sheet. Leary and Turnite with 6. Allen with 5. Gibbons and Turnite with a team-high 24 points, with just a mere 1 basket from the field for 3 in the 4th quarter. Kane and Turnite with 8. Baker with 7. Scott with 2. King with 4. And Majerski and Turnite with 2 points. But as we said, as advertised, Mary Gibbons, 24 points for the Mountaineers. That's almost the entire differential of the score between the two teams. 58-28. Wachusett a victor over Leominster.
Kate, you've gotten a chance to, obviously you got the stats there in front of you, ran them down for us. Great job as always. You got to hear both coaches. You got to, of course, see the action tonight. What's your postscript here for both schools?
The postscript here is that Coach Rusty Frederick, I think, is hoping that his team stays hungry after this type of a game. This is kind of one of those situations where you're at an interesting place in the season. Right now, the Lady Blue Devils record is pretty good. They're looking to see improvement and to continue to build up wins in Central Mass. And so you're hoping, if you're Coach Rusty Frederick, that this is kind of just a speed bump and you can move on and build from here. And of course, take away some learning. These are teachable moments going up against a Wachusett Mountaineers team that's this prolific in Central Massachusetts. They're the class of Central Mass. They have been, seemingly will be for a while. So this is a situation where if you're Coach Rusty Frederick, you're kind of looking at this as a, yep, okay, we know we have a lot of room to grow in order to catch up with this type of a team and the teams from Eastern Mass. And so you take it at face value, you use the teachable moment and you move on, hoping that it does not cause a negative trend in your season. If you're Coach Jim Oxford, this is just another checkbox on your road to the postseason, and not just the postseason, deep into the postseason. Wachusett has to face Central Massachusetts teams that are in their league. I think if it was up to the Wachusett Mountaineers, they would likely have an entire schedule of Eastern Mass teams. And so if you're Leominster, you're kind of fortunate to be able to play such a talented and prolific team. It's one of those things. Jim Oxford is taking this, and it's all business. You see this team walk in, you can see their confidence, you can see their poise, you can see their athleticism, and you can certainly see their coaching on display. And this is just business as usual for Wachusett. This is a checkbox and move on.
And, again, just to frame this for people, we mentioned the wins over Brookline, Westford, Framingham, Chicopee, Foxborough, Franklin. These are the who's who of Eastern Mass basketball, and they beat a Franklin team on the road. We mentioned off the top of the broadcast, 54-37. So Leominster in good company against a team far better tooled to play a Wachusett team than Leominster would be at their young age coming into tonight. Patrick, it's time to go to bed, little buddy, but we thank you for your contributions tonight as well. It's time for those 3 B's, book, bottle, in bed tonight. Aww.
We're off. We're off to bed, Dad.
Indeed we are. I will see the two of you coming up in a little bit. Kate, as always, thank you so much. Patrick as well. Good night, and we'll see you at home. And that's how that comes to an end, Bill Tom. She was going, and
she clicked you off before you could click her off.
There are other wives going, yep, that's exactly how I handle my husband. Goodbye. And that is the end.
She has her priorities in
of that. And hey, got plenty to do there as well. Bill Thomas, you got a chance to hear from both coaches. I'll ask you the same question I asked Kate. What's your postscript for both schools?
Postscript is Wachusett Mountaineers are playing for a state championship, and the Lady Blue Devils are playing to make the tournament. And I think if both accomplishments come to fruition, it'll be a successful season for both teams. I don't think Coach Oxford's going to be happy with anything less than a state championship, the way his girls are playing. I think they went into this championship game or the semifinals last year undefeated and came up a game short. And that's probably all he's been thinking about since that final whistle back in February last year. So, yeah, they're playing for a state championship. However, Lady Blue Devils, they've got some growing to do, but we can see the maturity there just the way they played tonight, even in a 30-point loss. They want to make that tournament. That's going to be a goal for them. They got all underclassmen. This is really a growing year for them. And if they can grow and make the tournament in the same year, I would say for Coach Frederick's, mission accomplished. The way I look at it now, the Lady Mountaineers are playing chess and against everybody else is playing checkers.
And
and the way they maneuver the ball around, they're playing like a chess master. They're not just jumping over a chip. They're thinking where that third move is after you make two of your moves, or you might not even have time. They're going to make 3 moves in a row before you even can think about what you're going to do. And that's the way the Wachusett Lady Mountaineers are playing right now.
You hope you can remember what your pieces are before they
exactly right.
touch the ball, as the case may be.
They'll steal your milk money, spend it, and then put it back in your pocket. You won't even know it's gone.
As the case may be, first power rankings for the winter come out next Friday. This Friday, January the 13th coming up. I fully expect Wachusett will top Division I girls. If they don't, it's a travesty of mathematics.
Maybe the Boston Globe will wake up and realize who the Lady Mountaineers are these days.
Perhaps they need to expand their list geographically as well. We'll see if that does come ahead. Friday night, back in here. Fitchburg Leominster, doubleheaders back. Girls first, boys second. Let's start first
Hall of
with
Fame
the
in the middle.
Hall of Fame sandwich there in the middle. Let's start first with that girls matchup. Two programs, both not satisfied, both young, both trying to grow here at the gym at Leominster High School. I think that is going to be a feisty first game of a doubleheader.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think both teams have balanced some injuries. I heard one of the Fitchburg, one of their starters went down over the weekend. You hate to hear that. You know, Leominster's playing without what they thought was going to be their number one player since early in the season. So, you know, both teams fighting through adversity. I'm not sure what Fitchburg is bringing into this game, what their record is, but you know, they've had some mighty struggles the last couple of years just to keep that program going and to have girls come out. You know, the last couple of years have been really lean years for them, but whenever they match up against Leominster, you know, no matter how lean the years are, I don't care what sport it is, we expect a great turnout from the crowd, and we expect a great basketball game on the floor. And be here early because it's going to be rocking.
Yeah, this will be a packed gym inside of Leominster High School. The nightcap after that Hall of Fame induction will be a jam-packed house. First meeting of the new calendar year between Fitchburg and Leominster. Both schools going to look to be physical. It's going to be an emotional game. It's going to be end-to-end, and that's taking out any of the annual particulars. Then you put in the actual players that are in position on the floor, and right now Leominster, depending on how tonight went, could be, after starting off the year very strongly, on an 0-3 run going into that game on Friday. Leominster's going to be looking to turn things around potentially. Be exciting basketball coming up on Friday.
Yeah, we know Fitchburg athletics are always, you know, bring energy. They've always seemed to have top athletes, not just basketball players, but, you know, quickness and, you know, in some perimeter shooting. And, you know, I'm expecting a fast-paced game, up and down the court. And, you know, we've seen that from the Blue Devils. We know they can put up between 60 and 80. Haven't heard much about what Fitchburg is doing, but they seem to find a way to bring it. And once again, I don't care if you're 0-0. Once these two teams get together, the energy just gets ramped up. And, you know, I'm expecting a great matchup in that second tilt that we have that night, the feature game, as you want to call it. And this is a great time for the two schools to come together. We know the energy that the fans generate. That kids will be dressed up in costume, and you know the gym will be bulging at the seams with parents and fans. And I'm expecting a lot of energy in the building that night. You know, we've even figured out a way to condense our broadcast area a little bit just to get some more fans in. You know how we love the fans around
Absolutely.
us. But you know, whatever we can do to accommodate just to get everybody in here, because we don't want anybody to miss this matchup. We get the best seat in the house, but come join us because we want as many of our friends and fans here with us. And it's going to be a great night of basketball, along with a great halftime Hall of Fame induction with some local names that are also being honored as part of that ceremony. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be
a long night.
It's going to be a long night.
So
hey, I said it earlier on. You get yourself settled in after work on Friday night. First tip-off, 5 o'clock. Hall of Fame in between. Second tip-off, 7. All the broadcasts, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, 100% live here on RFM. We're going to be with you. 2 split streams, like we said. So there'll be a stream for the first game, stream for the second with the Hall of Fame ceremony on the front end. It'll be quick, but it will be available out there on your favorite social media device. Looking forward to that. And we'll have all the action for you here inside the gym at Leominster High School. You settle in. 5 hours of fun and excitement come your way on Friday night. So tune in for that one. Final score here tonight. Leominster falls to Wachusett, 58-28. Mountaineers are 7-0 in this early season. Blue Devils are 3-4. So many ways to be a part of this one here on RFM and all of our broadcasts. Remember, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all live on RFM. You can be a part of it on your favorite social media app. Like, follow, and subscribe today on your favorite social media app. When the content goes live on your favorite device, it finds you here on RFM. And once again, Friday night, we've got that action for you here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster-Fitchburg doubleheader, take 1. Friday night, January the 13th. Leominster hosts Fitchburg, both girls and boys varsity. Girls tip off at 7. At 5. Boys tip off at 7. I've done that twice now. Girls tip off at 5, boys tip off at 7, and in between, the New England Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony, 19 North Central Massachusetts basketball name and legends will join the company of the New England Basketball Hall of Fame. Got it all for you here on RFM, and we're looking forward to being with you on Friday night and with our partners in delay on Leominster TV. 58-28, Wachusett tops Leominster tonight here inside the gym at Leominster High School. For Kate and Patrick Robbins, Bill Thomas, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for being a part of our family over the last couple of hours and tuning in here live on RFM. Until we speak again on Friday night for Rivalry doubleheader, we say, so long, everybody.